Yo, what up? It's Aaron motherfucking Moses. And this video is called How to Become a God. Now, first of all, this video is inspired by the homie Infinite Waters diving deep once again. Haha, we're out here in nature, fucking these bitches long dick style. Nah, seriously. But one of the things that Infinite Water said that really affected my life is that if you really care what other people think, that is the ultimate expression of self-hate. Actually, that's not what he said. But what he said was basically, I don't like to verbatim say what motherfuckers say. And you know what? If I could, I would. I'm not gonna lie to you. My memory's fucked up because I just spoke that and because I spoke that before. But whatever the case is, he said something to the effect of basically, if you don't care what people think, you not caring on what people think is the ultimate expression of self-love. Okay? So basically, my message is, if you want to become a god, let's just use that. Somebody that is immortal, somebody that is omnipresent, which means everywhere and nowhere. Actually, that's not what that means. Omnipresence, omni means like at all times. So omnipresent, omni-knowing, But, okay. Twister said, I believe it was in F5, we need to stop trying to be kings and start being gods. And what I took from that, I heard that whenever it came out. I downloaded it, piracy funds terrorism. But what I got from that, when I think about that, what I get from that now is gods are immortal. Kings are mortal. Kings die every day. And if you really want to be something for real in this life, you need to be somebody who does not apply human nature to their own fucking lives. You need to stop doing things and take more responsibility and stop saying, okay, well, that doesn't necessarily mean that she's a bad person. She's just human. Being human cannot be our excuse anymore. What is the use of that? Having excuses, you know what that's called? It's called a handicap. That's called a crutch. Human nature does not have a place in humans' nature. Our environment is a direct depiction of our internal, and vice versa if you let it be. Why do you want an excuse for you doing some dumb shit? Why wouldn't you embrace the effect of having hella responsibilities? This is what we do in our society. What happens when you meet your mom's fucking friend? What happens when you meet your girlfriend's fucking auntie? What happens when you meet dad or mom? You're at this fucking dinner, and they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. So, tell me about yourself. Well, I'm only at this dinner because I want to fuck the shit out your fucking daughter. And she told me if I have a dinner with you and I don't smoke a cigarette, then I can have a three-way with her and her friend Mackenzie, because I know that you're a doctor and you don't particularly care for cigarettes a lot, even though you're an alcoholic. But we'll talk about that at our 10-year anniversary if we get married, if this bitch has some good pussy, and blah, 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 blah. What do people ask you when you first meet them? Oh, you're a stranger. What's your name? What is a name? You know, the ancient Egyptians had 3 names. They had the big name, the little name, and the secret name. Your little name, I believe, you know what? I'm not even going to fucking lie to you. I don't know a whole bunch about this concept. It's not concrete in my brain. But the little name, I believe, was your first name. So my little name would be Aaron. My big name would be Hister. And my secret name would be Master Teacher Boss Daddy AaroniMoses of We The Bang TV. That's my secret name, which is totally not my secret name. But if you have any snake anecdotes, you let me know. Use that name, put it in your potion, I'll drink it. But anyway, damn, my shit's long as fuck, but I need to pick it. But anyways, man, basically, the what people my I haven't the etymology for language is literally tongue. But look at the way that you spell language, and if you think about this, all this shit ties together. So be patient. So language is spelled LAN and a perversion of the word gauge, which means to tell, to detect. I don't have the etymology for the word gauge, but you have LAN. I mean, when you put the D on it, that's land. And then you got the word that kind of looks like gauge but kind of doesn't. So in my mind, I look at that word and I see gauge land. They're trying to look at how I speak to gauge the lands that I come from. And if you look at my inspirational speech, people ask you where you're from to see what the tools that you have, what kind of equipment that you have to deal with life and to make other people's lives better. People ask you, what's the first thing they ask you? Okay, so what's your name? Where you from? What do you do? Okay, the three most personal questions that I fucking don't like answering. What's your name? Why do you need to know my... And it's a part of that whole, 52-person tribe. We're all tribal and, we were not supposed to live in societies of this size. But people are like, what's your name? I'm like, I don't want to tell you my name because if I tell you my name, you're going to be able to figure out, a lot of things that I don't want you to necessarily know before you know me as a person. You're going to be able to Google me and see how many times I've been to jail and things like that. But, I'm going to tell you my name is, the moniker that I use and the fake name that I give everybody, which I'm not going to put out on YouTube. But it's instinctual for me to not tell motherfuckers my real name or what I do and how important I am. Now, of course, I don't believe that you should be asking people these personal ass questions. What is your name? Just like if you've ever been to Chicago and you say you're not from Chicago but you have family in Chicago, they ask you, so what's your mom's surname? What's your last name? And I'm like, what are you trying to figure out? Why don't you ask me what the fuck you really want to know? Like, if you've ever been to jail or been in the hood in Chicago somewhere with your family and they want to separate you and find out who the fuck you are for real, you may or may not know what I'm talking about, or that may only exist in my universe. But let's say it doesn't. So people ask you, what's your family's last name to figure out where you're from. And if I tell people my last name, people from Chicago, I feel like will know who I am. The two last names that I actually introduced to people. Because, you know what, honestly, the first time I ever got asked that question, I was really curious to see what the fuck this person was going to do. Because I'm just a naturally curious person. Because, AaroniMoses says curiosity is the best teacher. But, sometimes that could hurt you, especially in a city like Chicago. But luckily, this was less violent times. It was pretty violent still when I was in Chicago. I was in Chicago 2000, the last time before I moved from... Ooh, you almost knocked over my drink. Intuition. But, I was there in 2010, which it wasn't as violent as it is right now. But people, hey, what's your family's last name? But the whole thing for this is we need to transcend human nature. Stop blaming shit on human nature. Stop blaming shit on God and his efforts to fuse you with animals. You think God wants you to be a fucking intelligent, evolutionized version of an animal? It isn't my theory that God wants you to be exactly how the fuck he is. God didn't give you all these gifts and pretend to write these books and pass them down to motherfuckers who never met God before just to control you and tell you, I don't want you to be like me. Why am I going to give you all these fucking premonitions, psychic powers, incubus, succubus powers? Why am I going to give you 7 chakras? Why am I going to give you the potential to destroy me? I want you to be like me. I don't want my son to grow up to fucking kill me. But if anybody was gonna kill me, I would want it to be my son. No lie. I think that's kind of cool. And you can call me crazy. I don't give a fuck what you motherfuckers think, because you motherfuckers don't give me a goddamn thing. But I'm sorry. Now that's real though. That's real. That's what we need in this life. But I mean, it doesn't really. Oh, bro, did you go in the toilet? Where did you? Give me that. Let me see. Give me. Give me. This nigga. Come here. Don't make me chase you. Thank you. See what this nigga did? Oh, this shit's wet. Bro, you're wildin', bro. Just sit down right here. Soak up some of this knowledge. Knowledge with a K. But no, it's time for us to stop making fucking excuses for ourselves and stop being fucking pussies. Pussies! The pussy, the vagina. There's a difference between a vagina and a pussy, which I just learned pretty recently, like within the last week. But stop. If you're gonna be anything similar to a female's anatomy, you need to be a vagina and the ovaries. Don't be a pussy, nigga. Stop blaming everything on your genes. Stop blaming everything on your fucking anatomy and your biology and your chemistry and your chemical makeup and your mental makeup and your mental health and your blah 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 blah. This is the fucking. Why do you think DNA is in the shape of stairs? Because you're supposed to fucking transcend it. You're supposed to go up it. You're supposed to move past it. You're supposed to transform it. Your DNA is made of fucking melanin and protein, I believe. You're supposed to build with that shit. You're supposed to acknowledge it, see it, accept it, understand it, overstand it, understand it, and move past it. You're not supposed to, okay, that if you just accept some shit off the strength of human nature, that's the same thing as being a fucking communist. That's the same thing as being a fucking slave. Somebody tells you, okay, well, you're genetically predisposed to do some shit that you don't really want to do, so we're going to give you this medicine, and, we're not going to wait for you to get healthy, we're just going to call you bipolar, schizophrenic, we're not going to explore any Eastern philosophies and say, hey, maybe if you meditate and learn how to still your mind, the voices will go away, and you'll stop feeling so guilty about all the motherfuckers you killed, or, you'll stop hearing voices about all the people that's trying to come kill you. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. We teach people that they have to play inside their limits. And yes, limits are impossible to not say that they're important. It's impossible to say that having limits is not important. Not moral limits, physical, mental, spiritual limits. Yeah, maybe, hey, look. Hey, maybe your son's not a goddamn genius. Maybe he's like you. Maybe his IQ is fucking 75, which is like borderline fucking retarded. And maybe we have to hyper teach. Maybe we have to teach bomb him and teach him different languages before he even knows English. Because all babies are born with the ability to understand all language because they don't speak any languages. They speak up with their hearts. They speak emotionally. Maybe that's what we have to do because we tested your son and he's almost just as retarded as you, but not so much because you played him a lot of 3-6 Mafia when he was in the womb. So he's not that retarded. He knows music a little bit. So maybe we have to stop saying everything he's doing is proof that he's a genius when genetically there's only a fucking 1 in a trillion chance that he would be a genius. So maybe, oh no, he can talk. He only talks to me. Oh no, he can walk. He only walk. He's really shy around strangers. No, maybe your baby's just fucking retarded. Maybe he's not little Jimmy. Maybe he's not Jim Bob SquarePants. Which I don't call my son that because that shit sounds fucking fairy as shit. But maybe you have limits. And maybe stop paying attention to what motherfuckers say you're supposed to be. Because that's just unnatural. Stop telling people, you need to grow up. Why do you always play video games? I always ask you if you want to get your dick sucked, but you want to play Halo with your friends. Bitch, because I'm a kid. I'm a really old, sexy looking child. I was a kid when I was 3. I was a kid when I was 18. I was a kid when I was 21. So if I'm in kid mode and I'm playing Halo, but for some reason you want to distract me with sex, maybe you're a pedophile. Maybe when I play Halo, it turns you on because you like children, because you're a fucking pedophile. Stop trying to make your boyfriend not be a kid. Let that motherfucker be. Stop letting people tell you that you need to be human, that it's okay for you to have limitations, which you do have limitations. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. It's up to the adult part of you to decipher, hey, you know when AaroniMoses said there's laws that's mutable and there's some that you just can't transcend because not every law is meant to be broken. Hey, maybe if I meditate long enough, I can really fly. Maybe if I meditate, I'll disappear like in that episode of South Park. Maybe if I do certain things, I don't have to be like everybody else. I don't have to keep blaming human nature. Say, oh, whoa. Why do black men always have babies for white bitches and leave them? Oh, because it's in their human nature. No, bro. Stop depending on your human nature to dictate your life. Do not govern yourself with human nature. Because look what the fuck humans have done. You think it's good that you govern yourself with human nature? You know how many forests are destroyed? You know how many animals are extinct? You know how much destruction we have done? Everything besides the fucking ozone layer. Because that's just the theory. We don't know if humans are actually destroying the ozone layer or not. But everything else, if you want to be better, if you want to change people's lives, if you want to change the world or be somebody in this life, you cannot depend on human nature to bring that to you. You literally have to you have to train yourself out of what's natural for you. Everybody says, "Oh no, you're supposed to care what people think. If you don't, you're either mentally ill, you have a personality disorder, you're a sociopath, you're a psychopath, or I mean, if you're dying or you're really old, I mean, dying and old people don't really care what people think." No, that does not have to be the circumstances which that does not have to be the circumstance in which you don't give a fuck what people think. It is not human nature for you to love yourself 100%. Did you know that? It's not human nature for you to be content with where you're at. Because if you do, you're gonna kill yourself. You're not supposed to be okay with being stable, with being consistent, with having a routine. That's not human nature. You're supposed to be constantly trying to grow and grow and grow and grow until you die. It's not human nature for you. It's human nature for your brain to keep growing, not to end up being senile. No. If you're 20 and you know 3 languages, if you live to be 100, you should know 7 languages. 20. Some people tell you, you know what, you're supposed to retire and be content with life and just take it easy and move to the country and do all this retarded shit and soak in the sun. That's not human nature, bro. Do things that challenge the fuck out of human nature. Break out of it. Stop letting people tell you that your nature is natural, which it is, but a lot of things naturally don't fucking make sense. Did you know you're not supposed to drink water while you eat? Because it dilutes the fucking enzymes and different bacterias that you're supposed to take in? Did you know you're not supposed to mix any food groups with any other food groups? Did you know you're supposed to eat according to certain organs? You're supposed to eat foods that are good for the heart and good for the lower intestine, the small intestine, and good for the liver and kidneys. Did you know you're not supposed to mix specific foods that you do every day? Stop letting people tell you that it's good to be a natural human. Because if it was good to be a natural human, there would be a lot more people on this fucking planet. or a lot less. It's human nature. Human nature is really the nature of half animal, half God. You know, if you don't believe in God, whatever. Half animal, half universe. Have complete animal and have something higher and more evolved and more developed than an animal. So if you believe in human nature, that means that you believe that it is okay to depopulize the earth. Because there are hella animals that commit suicide and kill off their own races and sacrifice their own races because the population is getting too big. And if we keep these sick motherfuckers around, they're gonna just bring the population down with us, and we're all gonna eventually die. Like deer. The deer needs the wolf to regulate the population because all the sick and old deer and all the weak deer get killed by the wolf. Now, if the wolf doesn't fucking eat all the sick ass, slow ass deer, that's just gonna make the population bigger, and it's gonna make things harder for the rest of the population of the deer. If we go with that same fucking philosophy and apply it to human nature, which humans are essentially all the animals put together, plus a little bit of God on there. If you believe in God, if you don't, just replace whatever the fuck you want to replace that word with. So in theory, humans are supposed to make sure there's not that many humans on this world, because that's going to be bad for everybody. So depopulation is good if you believe that you're supposed to stick to human nature. It's good that we have racism. It's good that people have mental illnesses, because 10% of people with mental illness commit suicide. So that's good. How many people out of 100,000 kill their wives because of domestic violence? That's good. Crack in the black community is good. AIDS is good. Car accidents, drinking and driving, rape, all those things are good if you are supposed to be sticking to your human natural ways. So everything, if you're supposed to be a human, if you're supposed to be good and be fucking scared of everything and want to kill yourself when nobody gives you attention, which is human nature. If people don't give you attention in 4 days because you got to play this video back, you don't know, you can't just plug yourself in randomly. You got to play this video back and hear what I'm saying before this. But because I got a, who said that? Phil Jackson of rap, what the fuck? Yeah, the shit gets dark, bro. But if you think that you are supposed to be scared of everything, and human nature is to go insane or have suicidal or homicidal tendencies when you don't get a certain amount of attention after about 4 days, you should be either slipping into insanity, be completely insane, and then after that, homicidal, suicidal, sociopathic, psychopathic, different kind of things illnesses introduce themselves into your mind if you don't get a specific amount of attention. That is human nature. So if you think human nature is so fucking good, do all of those things. Never try to transcend. Always be the same. Be a fucking communist. And keep living like that. And keep letting his storybooks, tell you how the fuck you're supposed to use your brain. I forgot who said it, but I think it was Einstein. Every person that's ever changed the world or done something good for humanity has been obsessed with something. Obsession is a mental illness, totally. Some kind of personality disorder. I don't know exactly what it's classified as. But basically what that's saying is you have to be exceptional to be able to... You have to do something outside of the norm. You can't be normal. You cannot be normal. You can't be this natural, all natural, 100% American, sweet American pie, Elvis Presley listening to fucking granddad was in the Vietnam War, his granddad was in the fucking World War II type person. That's just not gonna cut it. Unless you're trying to be a fucking president or some shit of America. Guess you need dark and light. And you always need both of everything. Now, I'm gonna end it on this because this is gonna stray away from what I'm saying. But I was watching a video on YouTube today that basically described the mafia as an off branches of America, of the American makeup. And I had this discussion with Liz the other day when we were talking about all the gangster disciples. What I said was the gangster disciples and the vice lords were governed by people who worked with the mafia. They might not have been made men, but if you go to school for business or marketing, and then you go work at Burger King or a restaurant, you're going to see the inner workings, whether they fucking show you directly or not. So when you take these gangsters that work for the mafia, these black gangsters that are highly respected, and they work for the mafia worked for the government. The mafia worked for the KKK, the police, the slave hunters. The difference between the mafia and the rest of American citizens is the mafia actually in Italy, and even you can say the Mexican mafia, they actually it was actually a part of their culture to dismember bodies, to slaughter pigs, to do a lot of different things. But the only reason that they survived was because they were not the same. They were not anything that America was used to seeing. Besides, there were organized criminal organizations, but they weren't the LCN. They weren't organized in specific ways. They weren't doing the exact same thing that America's doing. America literally gives you the blueprint on how to be the ultimate gangster. America's a big ass bully. America is a classy, slutty bully. You know what we do to countries? Horrible shit. We go to Saudi Arabia, which we do every day, or Egypt. Egypt is better. We go to Egypt and we say, hey, the rest of the world's Democrats, and it would be better for our trade and a lot of different functionalities that we both share in common. So we need you to be Democrats too, because this is going to be better for the rest of the world and our trade. Because when I think of America, that's exactly the voice that goes to my head. Like a Justin Bieber, Athen Pincher, fuck Minnie Poodle ass voice. So America does that. And they're like, you know what? And Egypt says, you know what? Everybody in our country loves our political policies and how we do things because it's based off our religion. It's based off of our culture, the Quran. So, the dictatorship that we have, it may look like tyranny and it may look like nobody has freedoms, but we all literally believe in these things. And America's like, you know what? But the people here look really oppressed. They're poor. They're sad. They stink a little bit. So we're just going to kill everybody right here. And we have more money than you. But look, it's going to be so much better. It's going to be so much better, bro. That's exactly what America... Oh, and then when we fuck your shit up and rape all these bitches, all these fat booty having ass bitches, you know what we're going to do? We're going to build you better schools. And we're going to teach you English and make you civilized. You guys are going to be Christians. It's so awesome. We give each other Secret Santa. Wow. Well, I'll explain that a little bit later. But, yeah, everybody right here is going to die. And then we're going to rebuild shit even better. That's what America does. We bomb people and we kill people and we rape their children, and then you know what we do? We tell the country to send us a bill so we can reconstruct the shit. And then if they don't want to do it, we do it anyway, and then we bomb the shit and rebuild it. That's gangster. That's gangster. That is that. I'm really disgusted by that whole like. I'm really disgusted by that whole process. Like if I was a Crip and my ops were, if I was a Rolling 20s and my ops are Hoovers, and I bomb and I kill all the fucking, what is it? If I'm a Rolling 20 and I bomb all the fucking Hoovers, and then I rebuild their houses, and then I hire chauffeurs to take their children to school. You just shit it. You just shit it. That's one of the reasons I'm proud to be American, bro. Because that shit's grimy as fuck. That is the grimiest. I couldn't think of anything grimier in my grimiest dreams, bro. That's just fucked up. It's fucked up. But it's pretty gangster. And then it's just a lot, bro. So basically, you know what? I said I covered a lot of ground. But basically, my whole message is to sum this whole video up. 31 minutes I've been talking about nothing. You definitely Phil Jackson of rap. I guess you need dark and light. Definitely, bro. That's what your brain is made out of. Left brain, left brain, right brain. Everything in your body. It's a lot. I don't really want to go into that, bro. That's gonna take personal, spiritual, and non-spiritual. But you definitely need dark and light, bro. There's no such thing as dark. There's no such thing as light. There's no such thing as bad, good. But I don't want to go into that philosophical, nonsensical, non-drunken nonsense is what I like to call it. Get off my computer. Did you pour my cords out? You turned my shit off? I don't even give a fuck, bro. But basically what I was saying, my whole message to sum this shit up in conclusion. If you want to be something, not like a doctor, not like a lawyer, which those are great occupations. They save people, they help people. If you want to be something bigger than you can even imagine, not a god, not a king, not a queen, something that can never be nothing. What you need to do is transcend human nature and deprogram yourself to these natural reflexes, these natural responses, these natural reactions, these natural things that people call nature. Study every part of human nature. Fear. Certain things in fear you do need, because your emotions are supposed to save your life. Your emotions are supposed to be indicators of death and indicators of life. That's what your emotions are supposed to be. They're supposed to be scouters. Your emotions are supposed to tell you, he's over 9,000! You're supposed to be able to detect that people are over 9,000 with your emotions. They're supposed to tell you that other people are sick, that other people are hurt, other people are lonely. They're supposed to be able to tell you that this motherfucker, his powers level is over 9,000. That's what they're for, bro. But a lot of things you need to be able to decipher. You need to be able to transcend. It's not important that you're a good person anymore. It's not important that you're not racist anymore. It's not important that you foster all these little seemingly problem children and you do a lot of good shit. You have to be able to transcend human nature, because most people just go with it. And being most people is mostly useless. How can I attract what I want? Bro, give me my headphones. You need to stay out this area. Here, you want some chips? Here, eat these chips. Here. They're not good for you, but you drink alkaline water all day, so it's okay. How can you attract what you want? If you really want me to go deep, There's a quote, and honestly, this is not very deep. But there's a quote that says, "Everybody has $1 billion. You just gotta know how to reach into your mind and pull it out. What are you gonna do and to put your what? How are you gonna reach into your mind and pull out $1 million? What you gonna the? I mean, I have hella videos on that subject, bro. I have hella videos. Earth, air, fire, water, creating sex in your mind, in your body, in your soul, creating sexual energy, which means the definition of that means fusing masculine and feminine principles into your body. Um, I'm gonna give you a quick rundown. Earth is the energies that surround you. Water is the plan. Fire is action. Air is the technology, knowledge. Um, and then you have to have the ether, also known as melanin, which is clarity, meditation, appreciation. Clarity, meditation, appreciation, and I'm so sorry, I forgot the other one. But you have to fuse those principles. You have to fuse those principles if you would like to attract what you want. You have to have the perfect plan for you. You have to put in good work, take great action. You have to have the technology and the knowledge. You have to be clear, very clear, 100, as much clarity as you can gain in exactly what you want. Applying all 5 of your senses and being a master visualizer. And then you have to be able to surround yourself with the energy, which means if you want $1 million, you have to feel like $1 million, and you have to have millionaire friends or female or people that have $1 million worth of potential. And then you have to be very clear in what is going to be of your life and what you're going to sense, what you're going to wake up and smell, what you're going to wake up and hear, taste, feel, and think, and things like that. Basically being that thing right now, because there's no such thing as future. There's no such thing as time. So if you want to attract what you want, you got to be that right now. You have to make these choices. You have to make that choice. And then belief is one of my ethers. Meditation, indulging, putting yourself totally in that energy. And definitely knowing, seeing exactly what you want. And I have videos called Get What You Want Right Now. Look at my videos for the past, I want to say 3 months. You'll definitely be able to answer your own question with that. So, Will Smith said, put happiness in front of fear. Wait. No, Will Smith said, God put happiness in front of fear. Where did it come from? I'm not exactly sure. What that means is, okay, in my perception, what that means is, in this world, in this matrix, and the energies that we operate with, negativity is human nature and how our environment works. Even if you look at where the trees come from, they come from the dirt, they come from the darkness. Nothing in this life can survive without water or light, but everything needs to happen. But when he said God put happiness in front of fear, when you do something negative that people perceive as negative, it's going to take you to do triple the positive things to be able to override that negative thing. Although that is true and that can be proven to be true, if you're happy, if you're doing something that makes you feel good, it should not take a lot of that to be able to combat the fear. It shouldn't take you, I mean, that's a really subjective statement. I don't think that's the the end all be all. I don't think that's true for everybody. So I can't really tell you why he would say God put happiness in front of fear, because a lot of people could say that they don't believe in God or that they have more than one God. But whatever the case is, you know what? Honestly, I'm not gonna pussyfoot it. I'm not gonna run from it. I never heard that before, and honestly, I can't really think of why he would say some shit like that. He put happiness in front of fear. I mean, because if you want to look at it at a fucking druggy outlook, a fucking drug addict is gonna do drugs before they think about how much they're gonna die. But again, that's against human nature, because people are obsessed with fucking death. All religions, all Abrahamic religion, all the religions that are most popular and the trendy religions, in all actuality, they're obsessed with death. You go to church to make sure that you're not going to go to the hot place when you die, which is totally inappropriate to be teaching a fucking little kid. But I mean, in all actuality, if you want to just, the first thing that comes off my head would be time. If you believe in time, if you feel time and you pay attention to time, your happiness takes precedence over time. If you're having a good time and you feel good, you're not going to be thinking about death. Of course, it is virtually impossible, is what scientists say, to smile and to be sad at the same time, simultaneously. So if you use the face muscles in your face to smile, to form a smile, it is impossible for you to be sad. You cannot smile and be sad at the same time if you're exercising those muscles in your face, because it is said that the human brain cannot have two thoughts simultaneously. The human brain can only process one thought at a time. So honestly, I don't know. I never heard him say that. I don't know why he would say that. He was saying that once you get over the fear, that's when the happiness comes. You gotta give me the exact quote, because that's not true. It only takes you 2 hours to in the confrontation of fear. It only takes you 2 hours to no longer be afraid of that thing anymore. So if you're afraid of the dark and you sit in the dark with your eyes open and you face those fears, then that doesn't mean that you're happy now. You could still hate fucking, okay, so now I hate fucking dark. I was afraid of it, now I have hatred, and hatred doesn't make a lot of people feel happy. And I'm not trying to be a troll or a douche or anything, but I wouldn't requote that. I wouldn't tell anybody that, like, when you get over the fear, you're going to be happy, because that's just not concrete. That's just not 100. So, trying to start selling weed, well, it could be a way to start. So, I mean, as far as I'm still stuck on this fear creates happiness thing. So, okay, I'm going to answer your question too, bro, but I do want to address this. So, one of the things that I've said in many videos is that what connects all people is pain. When you look at somebody, when you talk to somebody, all their humor, all their happiness and things like that, just like a lot of comedians say, they're only funny because their dad was a crackhead. They grew up in the projects, they were abused, and the only way that they kept from killing themselves was by being funny, by being that one family member, which is me, that tells jokes at fucking funerals, that's dry as fuck, that's not crying, that's not really reacting, but that's always like, bro, that shit was inappropriate as fuck, why would you say some shit like that? But I don't really know. Trying to start selling weed will be a good way to start. A good way to start. I wish I didn't delete all my fucking videos about selling weed, but a good way to start would be, I don't know, man, watching my videos. I don't really want to talk about that, honestly. I don't ever really want to talk about that again. I want to encourage you. A good way to start selling weed is to go to college. And then when you go to college, then after your first semester, after the first 4 months, then you're going to make a lot of friends that want weed. But then you're going to be too busy to sell weed because you're going to be trying to fucking get your fucking college degree and not watching YouTube videos to sell weed. Will Smith said the problem with fear is it lies. I mean, I guess, man, that is some. I have to talk to this man myself personally, because I haven't meditated on what he's meditated on. I don't think about fear like that. I just respond and react. Like, I forgot who said it, but they said a loser responds, a winner anticipates. So if you want to take it on that level, that has nothing to do with war and marketing and rechanneling your resources in a way. I seriously, bro, if you really want to sell drugs or get some quick money, yeah, become a doctor. Like I told everybody, like if you really want to kill somebody, don't be in a gang. Like a lot of people, they just think they want to kill a motherfucker. If you really want to kill somebody, be a surgeon. Be a doctor. Surgeons and doctors kill, I think, about 5 people every 20 years if they practice. You kill about one person every 3 to 5 years, or every 2 to 5 years or some shit. Legally, that is malpractice that you cannot go to prison for. So if you really want to kill somebody, save hundreds of lives, and that one person that has like 30% chance, just, never mind. I'm not gonna. That's horrible, bro. Don't die over the neighborhood. Nah, I'm not a gangbanger. But, the problem with fear is it lies. Your emotions. Yeah, I get you. Like I said, your emotions are your armor. Your emotions are indicators that you're supposed to either, fight, flight, freeze. But it's the whole thing is, fear is not really something. It's something, like a lot of people like to say, oh, you fucked your child up because we were all born fearless. Nobody was born fearless, nigga. You have genes. Your genes can be affected within 2 generations. A lot of shit that black people do is because of slavery. A lot of things that white people do is because of fucking slavery. A lot of things that white people do is because they're genetically fucking modified to be slave masters. And if black people would have been slave masters, we would be responding to white people the same fucking way, even though there's way more fucking black people than white people. But that's not what the census say, because the government likes to lie to protect white people, because most of the government's white people. But fear is something that is, it's not just a spiritual thing. It's not just something that you can breathe out of your system. There's fears embedded in your genetics. It's called genetic memory. If you've ever played the game Assassin's Creed, you know what the fuck a genetic memory is. Just like, what the fuck video was that? I think it was a Lord Jamar Vlad TV interview where he was like, if the dogs flip on their masters, they kill the dog in front of the puppies. So just like the slave masters did with the fucking slaves. So they have that fear embedded in them genetically. What you are is what you eat. There's no such thing as eyes, ears, mouth, skin. Everything is, there's only one sense. which is touch. That's your only sense. So if things touch your brain, if your brain is touching all these things, your brain is gonna touch your genetics. Every time you smoke a cigarette, you're forcing your sperm to be fucking cigarette smokers. Every time you drink a drink, every time you tee up, every time you listen to trap music, you're forcing your sperm and your eggs to be predisposed to like or to be addicted to these substances you're taking in. So it's not like fear is just invented and all babies are born fearless, because that's not fucking true. So it's fear is not, it's not foreign, bro. It's not something that's outside of you. If you want to believe it on that fact, I mean, if you've ever seen, think about this. If you ever had a puppy, I want to say like a 2-month-old puppy. If you have a 2-month-old puppy, and I'm not encouraging animal abuse, of course not. Fuck no. But if you have a puppy or a kitten, probably not a kitten, because kittens are not as attentive as puppies. But what you do is take a lighter and make fire and try to feel what that dog feels. Look into that dog's eyes and look at the calculations that they're making when they're seeing that open flame. You can tell that they're afraid of that flame, but not on a physical level, on a genetic level, on ways that they can't understand, ways that you get a hard dick for the first time. You don't know that you're supposed to fuck a bitch, but something is telling you. Like the first time you've ever seen a vagina. You don't know why, but it just looked tasty. It just looked like something you need to put yourself in. It just looked pretty. Like if you've ever seen a vagina when you were like 6, you're like, ugh, what the fuck? But when you see a vagina again and you're like 10, 12, 13, because of the fact that you have certain hormones in your body, which is now refusing with your DNA, you see that pussy, you're like, damn, I want to do even just the vagina by itself, not the ass, not the titties, just the pussy by itself. You're just like, I'm supposed to be in that. I'm supposed to be doing something to that. It looks like fucking Red Lobster. Because that's what fear is. Fear is the first time you ever seen a vagina before. It's something that's in your genetics. It's something that cannot be separated from you. So I don't know what this. I mean, I can't say. I mean, he has some bread. You know, he has money, so he could have been in Thailand and, you know, did the Taiwanese fucking initiation, the fucking Eightfold Path and all that shit. Did I study 5% teachings? Actually, I just got introduced to 5% teachings by AaroniMoses, Life, Truth, Love, Truth, Peace, Freedom, Justice. But no, that's not. And of course, I have been studying a lot of Moorish science temple concepts within the past 2 weeks, not that long. But the things that I'm speaking of is, it either comes from just pure meditation, just tapping into everything that we already are. It's really nothing stronger than the gene and good intentions. But no, none of the, no. I don't know anything about the 5% teachings besides love, truth, justice, freedom, peace, whatever else it is. Those 5 things: arm, leg, arm, head. No, but I don't know anything about the 5%ers. I really don't know what that is at all. I just know they're probably Muslims, and I know that people use their knowledge to deviate, to create street gangs and shit like that. Other than that, I'm not too familiar with their concepts. I like their studies, but they got they got mad at me because I something like white women, because I said I like white women. And definitely, you need to watch my last live stream that I took down. I didn't take it down, I just put it on private. But, you know, shit like that, especially when it comes to black people. And, of course, not being a fucking Uncle Tom. If you think I'm Uncle Tom, good for you. But it's not, it's not that I dislike the teachings of black people. It's just black people, a lot of the times, we try to do the opposite things of white people, not realizing that the only opposite of man is death. The Grim Reaper is the opposite of man. There is no opposite of black man. The opposite of black man is not a Caucasian Caucasoid from the Caucasus Mountains. You know, so when you study shit like that, you definitely have to be careful that you can be, because that's just an easy excuse of you being ignorant. So I don't want you to say, you know what, I love AaroniMoses is my favorite YouTuber, and I'm racist, and I believe that black men are superior to white men, because that's just the easy escape from you being racist and you being an ignorant motherfucker. What happened? My shit froze, but I'm just gonna wrap this up because this is going on an hour, and I'm gonna come back when it's the top of the. That's 10 minutes from now. The top of the hour, I'm gonna smoke a square real quick. I want to come back at like 8:30 and like that, and so definitely tune in at 8:30. Look at this little cute little kid. Little cute little kid. Alright, but that's it, man. I will be back at 8:30, and if I'm not, hit me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, email, website, and any other ways that you can contact me. If I'm not on here at 8:29, contact me. Alright, man. Thanks for watching, everybody. I definitely appreciate all the love. That's it, man. Peace.